Shalom, 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 Yasha. This your boy, Brother Shamwa Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called Pulling the Plug on Babylon. Pulling the plug on Babylon. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi, all right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel, this truth, to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right, like I said, today is called, lesson is going to be called Pulling the Plug on Babylon. All right, pulling the plug on Babylon. Right, for all you who think that, this place is going to be great again, right? Sadly mistaken, okay? The dream is over, right? People are waking up out of the dreams, and they're seeing that this place, it's no stopping, all right? It's no stopping, right? And the plug is being pulled on Babylon. All right, I came across this article. This is from Baller Alert. It says, say goodbye to Job Corps. Federal government pulls plug on training program for low-income youth. It says the future of a critical job training program just got put on hold. Literally, it says this week, the U.S. Department of Labor announced that it will pause all operations at the contractor-run Job Corps centers nationwide by June 30th. That move affects thousands of students and staff across the country and is already getting serious backlash from both Republican and Democrat lawmakers. It says the Job Corps programs have been around since the 60s, helping low-income teens and young adults between 16 and 24 get vocational training, education, and a shot at a stable job. But according to Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer, it says the program isn't delivering like it used to. She pointed to troubling incident reports and a deepening financial hole. Fiscal year 24 alone saw a $140 million deficit, and the fiscal year 25 is projected to hit 213. The Department of Labor says it'll help students transition out of the program and cover their travel costs, but that's cold comfort for the people who counted on Job Corps to build their futures. For now, the pause leaves a big question hanging. What's happened next? It says, to one of the few federally backed training programs helping underserved youth. Okay, so now they're cutting the Job Corps, right? When you think about vocational trainings, things that are necessary, and I believe I touched bases on it. I know I've spoken about it, but when you think about it, right? Because this society, all it pushes is to be like an athlete, an actor, right? Some kind of celebrity, right? A rapper, whatever. This is what they want you to be, right? They're not pushing for useful vocational skills, like a plumber, all right, like an electrician, right? They're not pushing that, right? Everybody's pushing to be a streamer, a gamer, all right, or an athlete, this, that, and the other. They're not pushing for these jobs that are like core to kind of running the system. This is how you know this place is failing, okay? And so then you take away that, right? Because you say it's costing too much money, right? And this is just you see, right? The plug has been pulled on Babylon. Okay, this place is finished. All right. If you're looking for this place, to go back to its great glory, it's not. Right. This place is just fading away. All right. Let's just get a couple of scriptures. First one I want to get in the Apocrypha, right? Second Ezra 16. Right, Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 1, it says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand." Okay? All right, this point, right? Not even the children, you know. And I've seen it, just even throughout the years, just growing up, how you see how, when they used to compare, they used to have things that would compare America to the other nations as far as education. And I remember, just seeing it throughout my life. And I always see America just decreasing, headed towards the back, headed towards the back. And this place is finished. Okay. And now you want to cut the jobs that are, you know, that are pertinent to, the society. Okay. Things like that. Right. But just because you don't see stuff, right? Like a plumbing, like you might not see it, but those are vital things that happen that are behind the scenes that need to be done. Okay, but when you cut the operations of things like that, right? You already know that this place is finished. Okay, because guess what? A goddamn baseball player is not gonna be fixing your toilet. All right, your rapper is not gonna be fixing your electricity. All right, and all these you see these these major corporations are shutting down. Right, you got all these businesses. All this stuff is shutting down. All right. And how can this place continue? Well, that never read, but how is this place going to get great again? And it's steadily closing, shutting down, canceling program. Like this place, if you can't see the writing on the wall, you gotta understand this place is finished, man. All right. And the scriptures talk about it. Okay. What is that? Let's go to Salakia. Let's get it here real quick. Just want to see something. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Right? Ecclesiastes. This place is finished, man. This place is done. All right. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse number 3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, right? And those that look out of the windows be darkened." All right. The grinders, the workers. Okay. And we see, they're steadily decreasing the workforce, decreasing these jobs, right? And, they're not trying to replace this place. That's how listen, this place is done. Okay. This place is damn near it's on its last leg, but its last leg is barely hanging on. Okay. It says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low." All right. And you see a lot of this, talking about AI and robots, right? You have the self-checkout machines in most major retail places, right? I know I did a lesson, man, maybe a year or two ago, where you had this place called Primark, right? Where if you went to the self-checkout, in order to get out of the self-checkout, you had to scan your receipt to get out, right? Hey, this is, this stuff has been already there, okay? And the grinding is getting low, and it says, "And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." Okay, hey, this place is not the Mario America that it used to be, right? This place is gone down, and it hasn't been for a while. All right. It hasn't been for a while. Right. And it's slowly, you know, when you think about it, right, when you take somebody off of life support, right, what happens? The body starts to shut down. All right. The body starts to shut down. Like this place is losing its oxygen. Okay. Oxygen to the lungs, to the brain, to the bloodstream. Hey, this place is just headed down. All right. All the way down. All right. Matter of fact, Salakia. Let's get that. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, 47, and verse number 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." Okay? This place is no longer, the place where people, are flooding to come to. All right? What does it say? Jeremiah 51. And what is that? Jeremiah 51 and 7. Right? Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7, it says, "Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi's hand." Right? This was the place. All right? This was the place to be. All right? Just as in ancient Babylon, hey, this is the modern day Babylon. Okay? It says that made all the earth drunken. Okay? And this place has made all the earth drunken. Okay? With their philosophies. You got them right now, right? Probably every major city where you're at, what are they doing now? They're celebrating, right? That spiritual what? Sodom and Egypt. Okay? They're pushing that agenda, right? It says Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi's hand that made all the earth drunken, right? Their philosophies and their different things that they're trying to push, all right? That they try to push around the world, right? You got when you look at it, you got everything is even when you go to like airports, around the world, right? What do you have? You have their language and you have English, right? You got your, Japanese and, or Ammon and Moab. You go to these places, right? They're wearing suits and ties. They're doing, this is that whole thing, okay? They've abandoned their attire, for Esau's attire, right? It says the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, they're mad at this place. Okay, and this place is done. All right, even the people who dwell in Babylon, right? They can see that this place is finished. They're mad at it, right? They're mad. Why? Because they've been given into the hands of a cruel Lord, right? He's cutting everything, right? He's cutting SNAP, right? He's cutting jobs, government jobs, right? Cutting what was it? Now he's doing the Job Corps, right? Hey, everything is expendable to him. Okay? So it says Salakia. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4, it says, "In the Egyptians," right? This is the modern day Egypt. Okay? It says, "In the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. All right, a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahawah, saith the Lord," right? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashai of hosts. Okay? And we see, right? Narrow in action. Okay? He's doing everything, right? Just did a lesson, I believe it was yesterday, right? Where there certain, quote unquote nationalities, right? I believe it was the Haitians, was it the Haitians, the Nicaraguans, dang, I can't even think off the head, right? Well, basically the children of Israel, right? Of the different tribes of Israel, what are they doing? like 500,000 of them, they're revoking the thing that Biden had given them, to be here to dwell in this country. Okay, and getting ready to try to deport them. Okay, you see it. Okay, they're deporting, masses of the Northern Kingdom, right? Sending them to different countries. All right, cutting jobs. Right, Eve thought she had it good here in Babylon. What did he do? Right, he cut the federal jobs. Right, cut the snaps. The benefits. All these things are being cut. Hey, this place is shutting down. All right, the life support has been unplugged, and this place is just steadily shutting down. Okay, steadily shutting down until this place is ultimately, going to be destroyed. All right. So back to Jeremiah chapter 51. Let's go to verse number 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. Okay, and this place is not going to be healed. All right, that's the thing. This place is wounded, and it's on life support, and now the life support is being unplugged. Right, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Right, it's not going to be healed. Okay, forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven. And it says, and lifted up even to the skies. Okay, because when those missiles hit this place, all right, this place is going to be utterly destroyed. There's no resuscitating Babylon. Okay, this horror, the scriptures say that she's going to be burned with fire. All right, let's get that. Revelation 17. Right, remember she was the golden cup in Yahawah Shai's hand. All right, verse number 4, Revelation chapter 17, verse 4, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Right, it looked pretty. Right, and that's a lot of these migrants, they see from afar. Oh man, like this has got to be the place. Look how it's just elaborate. You got all these celebrities, you got all these, and they're seeing all that stuff, and then they come here and they see that this place is a piece of crap. It's like I always put it, like Coming to America. All right, your man Hakeem said he was looking for a queen. Let's go to Queens. Went to Queens and was right in the dirty hood, man. People, trying to warm themselves on fires, on garbage cans that's on fire. I mean, this is what, people, they see from afar, and then when they get there, they see, you got piss smelling, sidewalks, I mean, you got pigeons and rats fighting over a slice of pizza, right? You can go and you can watch this stuff, man, right? This place is done. Okay. It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahawashi. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. All right. And who is that woman? Let's jump down. Verse 18, and it says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Talking about Babylon, right? But ultimately, this place is going to be burned utterly with fire, okay? And Babylon is going to become the lake of fire, all right? It's not going to be over there near Israel, near Jerusalem, right? It's going to be just here, right here in Babylon, where we're at. This place is going to be hit with so many ICBM missiles with the nuclear warhead capabilities, right? This place is going to be hit with so much that it's going to turn this place into the lake of fire, right? And it says, and verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. All right. Now you just seen that I were just talking about it. So the EU, I guess, Trump delayed the tariff that was supposed to be 50% on the EU, right? I believe till the 7th, I believe, something like that, right? But it says, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay? And ultimately, this place is coming down. All right. Revelation 18:3 says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Right? They've all fell for the okie doke of America, man. Right? This place is trying to be the bully, and people have fell for it. And fell for all the philosophies, pushing their little agenda. All right. It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right? Let's jump down. It says, verse number 7, it says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. Right? So much torment and sorrow give her. Right? And Elder Apostle Tahar and Elder Apostle Gabar, they brought out a good, point, we was talking about, how this place is, right? Is, when you think about, they were talking about the Edomite woman, her drug of choice, is that the meth, and you see how you see those before pictures and you see those after pictures, right? And you see before, and she might be, a pretty decent looking, Edomite, and then when you get on that meth, hey, just sunken in face, looking like death, man. And that's what this place looks like. But this place still thinks that they're beautiful and they're a whore, but they're done. Okay. So it says, and that's how they are, right? It says how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, right? And you know how you see them addicts, even in the hood, right? You got Eve in the hood, drug addict. I see one video where she had on these huge high, boots, and just thinking she's doing something, but just looking crackish as a mug, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's how this place thinks of themselves as so great. But really, everybody else is seeing them like, man, this place is finished. You look at, especially, our people, when they're on those drugs, you like, damn, they finished, man. That's how they're looking at this place. All right. So verse 7, it says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahawah, Bahasham, the Most High Power, who judgeth her. It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication and have lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Okay? And soon enough, man, in 1 hour, hey, this hoe's gonna stop breathing, man. Right? The Lord is gonna put that one hitter quitter on him. All right? It's gonna be so many nuclear warheads that's going to hit this place from one coast to the next coast, and it's going to utterly burn this place and put lights out, man. Lights out, but the fire is on. Okay? This place is going down. It's unplugged, man. Right? The Lord is unplugging this place. Okay? Let's see. Let's read verse 21. It says, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Okay, because this place is going down. All right, as it continues to just shut down within itself. right? You can just think of it. All this stuff, the workings in here are like its internal organs, and this place is utterly being shut down, right? And then ultimately, the Lord is going to have these other nations and Yahawashi and the angels, when they come in the chariots, to finish this hoe, right? And burn her up, right? Put her out of her misery, man. Quickly, right? With a speedy riddance, okay? So I just wanted to do this quick lesson. Lord's will, this was edifying, right? But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rechach Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and mighty Shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying, right? Continue to pray that this place be destroyed and be destroyed with a speedy riddance, and Yahawah Bahasham Shai come quickly unto us, all right? And with that, we'll say a ball. All right, shalom.